Okay, so let's find out if my belly rubs on the fridge door when I stand in front of the island and open up the fridge. Here's the before video, and then I'll put the current video or the update now. Nope, doesn't rub anymore. And it's such a wonderful feeling. There's probably a solid 3 inches between where my belly is and where the fridge door begins. So no longer rubbing my belly every time I want to open my own refrigerator. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. Thanks for clicking on today's video. Today is a week 86 update of my keto transformation journey. For those of you that are just now finding me, this channel is about my experience losing over 125 pounds with a ketogenic lifestyle, old-fashioned hard work, some intermittent fasting. So if that's something that inspires or you want to hear more about how I do my keto, please consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on those notifications. If you have a comment, and I'll do my best to answer them. The next thing I want to say real quick, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. This is just my experience rewinding my health from morbidly obese to a healthy weight. Do your own research and talk to your own doctor. And really quick, I want to tell you about the Perfect Keto Bar promo. You can mix and match and save up to 30% on keto bars, but it doesn't stop there. 2 new flavors. Pumpkin spice, which is a limited edition, pumpkin spice, oh my gosh, and peanut butter chocolate chip. Both of them are sweetened with allulose as the primary sweetener. They taste so amazing. Like, I feel like these 2 flavors were made for me. They weren't. But seriously, those pumpkin everything is my jam, and peanut butter chocolate chip, again, my jam. I kid you not, they are the best products so far that I've tasted. Mix and match and save up to 30%. And use my special link down below. And I would assume the pumpkins, once it's gone, it's gone. So if you want to get your hands on it, go ahead and pick those up. Let's hop into the week 86 update. So we are currently in a fasting monthly challenge for the month of October. I will post the schedule right here. This is what I'm doing for this month to push and challenge myself. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday are typically going to be my fasting days. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday are considered my eat days. And for those of you who are not familiar with alternate day fasting, there's a bunch of links down in the description box below that will help make more sense of this. But in summary, a fasting day is literally just that. Clear liquids like black coffee, unsweetened teas, sparkling waters, no sweeteners, and just fasting. And then eat days are your normal, how you would do your day on those days. And fasting is optional on the feasting days, which I do my 16-8 fasting routine on my feast days. Now, I did not hop on the scale because this challenge literally just started. I literally just got my before pictures. I literally just took my my weight, my measurements. 2 days isn't going to make any change, so we're going to just skip that and we're going to move it along and make sure we get a whole week in before we hop on the scale. And I do suggest that for you too, if you can step away from the scale and focus on the challenge, not focus on what the weight says. Just focus on what's important. And right now you're either learning or you're brushing up your skills on the fasting part of this challenge. And the goal here is not to lose weight. I mean, that's a benefit, certainly, but the goal here is to stop spiking those insulin and glucose levels by not eating all day long. So, and indirectly, that's going to increase your HGH hormone. It's going to allow your body to do repairs. You know, when it's not focusing on digesting your food, it's allowing your body to take out the trash by, you know, going through the autophagy, that process. That's what we're focusing on for this month. And the benefit certainly is going to be weight loss. And also, a side note, if you're like me, you're an emotional eater, I find that fasting is how I cope with my emotional eating. I am very strict when it comes to fasting. I have always been strict. I have just one thing that I'm just like, no. If you are fasting, you are not eating. That's how I approach. And I'm so strict, and I follow that precedent that I set so long ago, and it has helped me overcome my binge eating and my overall emotional eating, stress eating, you know, that kind of thing. So when you have a fasting window and you're being strict and quote unquote, shit goes down, you have to pick other healthier ways to cope versus eating and turning to food and, rewind and just entering that vicious cycle again. So by not eating and having to find, okay, I gotta take a deep breath, I gotta go take a walk, I gotta walk away, I've gotta, do something that's productive, I've got to, just find some alternate way to cope. And that really has been what has saved me, or what has allowed me to overcome my emotional eating. So that's another reason why I'm such a prominent fan of the fasting in general, not just alternate day fasting, but it seems like every time I have a fasting day, stuff goes crazy, and it's like it's so easy to want to turn to food, but having those days as dedicated as fasting days, that just makes you have to put the work in and work through these issues instead of eating them, which is the easy fix. It's way harder to change your life, change your unhealthy eating habits into new healthier eating habits. So that's the part of the challenge that I want to drive home, and that's what we want to focus on. Because I know I'm not alone when I talk about being an emotional eater. That pretty much got me to where I am. I was where I was in all my before pictures. I was the person who turned to food instead of dealt with the problem at issue while it was a small issue. And I just allowed it to just bloom and bloom and bloom until I got to 309 pounds before I'd hit that break and be like, okay, this direction's not the way we want to go. Let's put it in reverse and go back and find some other way, because this clearly is leading us to a cliff, and we don't want to drive off a cliff. So keep that in mind. And the next thing is, so I should not have put the clip of me testing my ketones and glucose right after I was testing something, because I know that caused confusion, and I apologize for that. I should have just waited to the next reading or something, but it's like I was trying to get the schedule in real time, and that's what I was doing, and so I included that little tidbit. So I'm sorry, but I will explain really quick what I was doing. If you're like me, who follow lots of other YouTubers, lots of other doctors and stuff that have great ideas and topics that are pretty thought-provoking, your newsfeed's probably filled with the same thing that mine is. And mine has been filled with videos and websites and all kinds of stuff focusing on resistant starch. So I was testing these very interesting theories of resistant starch. And just really quick, I'm gonna make a whole video on this, but just to summarize it up, resistant starch is like white rice, a potato, like some type of starch that you cook normally, you cool for 24 hours in the fridge, and then you reheat slowly, or you can have it cold, that's obviously the best, but if you want to reheat something slowly, the impact on your glucose is supposed to be very minimal, because there's a chemical change in that process, and we will get into that in a whole nother video, but it was like interesting. And of course I'm skeptical, but because I have a keto mojo, I could test it. So that's another reason why I highly suggest, if you're gonna invest in any keto product, I would suggest a Keto Mojo, and that's because you get to test you, and you get to have answers that if you may have a question of something affects you or not, take your levels. Find out for sure if it's just a fluke, or if it's something that is a problem that you can address. And it's a way to own your own journey. So I would say definitely invest in a Keto Mojo, and if you want to, use the link down below. But the reason I like to test is because when stuff like this comes across, I'm like, that's interesting. That could be a real slippery slope if you could eat white rice again, or it could be something to leverage a way to cut fat, which is a whole nother reason. And thirdly, then one of the most important reasons that people are using this resistant starch thing is it improves your gut biome, which helps you too. So it's like, I'm like, whoa, that was an information overload, and I've got to test this right now. And I should have done that one prior to, but it came up in my news feed, and I wanted to test it right then. So I had 150 grams of white rice. Before I took that reading, my glucose was 88, and it shot up to 101 at the 1 hour mark. That's not a spike. I was blown away. It should have been way higher. It should have a huge spike whenever I've eaten carbs in the past. it goes pew, you know, at that 1 hour mark, way higher. But a little like 12-point increase in an hour is not much more than what my keto meals were doing. So it was very interesting, and I do apologize for throwing that in there without even like explaining it, but I didn't want to confuse you. We were right in the middle of a alternate day fasting, and there's just too many topics I'm going to be posting in one video. So I pulled that thought process out, and we will completely talk and revisit this at a further date. And I will be personally testing that on a lot of other things. But I was pretty impressed with that. I was surprised. I didn't think it was going to be true, that it would have very minimal impact. So, but we will talk about that later, but I will not be testing that anymore while we were on the alternate day fasting challenge. For this challenge, to make it a fair, accurate alternate day fasting monthly challenge, I will not be having any more resistant starch. It'll just be keto as usual with alternate day fasting. So I hope that makes sense, and I'm sorry for the mix-up or confusion. I'm random. I don't plan. I've never been a planner. I'm a type B personality, and it's just, ooh, new topic, ooh, you know, so yeah, sorry. But anyways, I will answer a few questions about the alternate day fasting. I was scrolling through my phone to read the comments, and a lot of people were asking, what is a good ketone number? What's a good glucose when you're testing it using the Keto Mojo, or what another brand of ketone meter? Your ketone levels need to be above 0.5, and your glucose numbers need to be below 100. So I'm going to put that info on the screen right here. That is considered ketosis. There's a lot more into it, but that, if you're a beginner, that's what you need to learn first. Then you can get into the deeper stuff. So the goal is you want to see above 0.5 on your ketones, and you want to see a number below 100 for your glucose. And the next thing is that a lot of people are asking if I drink water, and why didn't I show it? Do you really want to see me drink like 16 ounces of water? I think that's just tedious. I'm drinking plenty of water throughout the day. I just happen to show my coffee. That's just like something I do twice a day. I have a bubbly, which is considered another version of water. Water counts. Water is in herbal teas, water's in coffee, water's in sparkling water, and water's water. So I drink a combination of all those, but I do drink plain water a lot. At least 3 16-ounce glasses of plain water a day. And then all the other stuff on top. Like, I'm constantly drinking water. I just felt that it was kind of tedious to show me drinking water. That's just my thoughts. So I'm sorry if that was confusing. But yes, drink plain filtered water. And then the next thing is, how do I break a fast? On a 40-hour fast, that's not a really humongous fast. So I just eat, and with a just a normal keto meal. I do focus on chewing it more because you're revving up that digestive system. So I will just, I broke my fast with a kale salad with grilled chicken. But I just chewed it really well, and I ate slowly, and I had no problem. So that's what I do. But if I do something beyond 48 hours, I will sip on bone broth first. When my fast ends, I will just get a cup of bone broth and sip on it just to get the digestive system moving, and then I'll resume a normal light keto meal. That's personally how I approach it, and I've never had any discomfort. But I would not come off of a 48-hour fast and go have McDonald's. Like, I just think that's gonna be, whoa, you're gonna be feeling that. So I would just come off of it in a, what do you wanna say hi? You silly girl. It's Cinder. Silly kitty. She's getting so big, she's 6 months old now. I think she wants to be a keto cat. So anyways, I personally would just I personally would just take it slow when you're coming off a 40-hour or so fast. But if you go beyond 48, do a 72 and a much more extended fast, that's when I would cue the bone broth. And I drink Kettle and Fire bone broth. I can get them locally. You can buy it online, and you can also make your own bone broth for this exact reason. And I have a video that I'll try to remember to post down below. My mom shows us how to make bone broth. So anyways, that's basically how I approach my alternate day fasting. Today is a fasting day. I have been fasting since 8 o'clock yesterday, and I will not eat till tomorrow at lunch. So I will film what I'm doing today, and I will film the whole week so we can get a little bit more And I know it's kind of like tedious because it'll be very similar, but if it helps, I will do it for you. So comment below any questions, and I will see you at the next video. I'm Jess, you're watching Keto Rewind. Go be great.